All right. So quick.
Ben just pulled a hamstring.
Let's get started. Captains. And all these guys started their football journey in Texas, so I think that was kind of cool. But on offense, it'd be Chris Paul. I thought, what a great story. Just staying with it. He's been impactful in the run game, and just pumped to see him continue to develop and grow, and playing right next to Laramie in the run game. It's been big for us. Defensively, Vaughn, and right out of DeSoto, where there is that's a football town, and so pumped to have him in as a captain. Heading into Dallas. Now on special teams would be Tyler Owens. So another guy who's growing and Plano East, and he's been relentless and one of our heavy hitters on special teams. So those are the guys there. I figured we're only going to rule one player out, give you the injury update. So that'll be Terry. And as far as everyone else, we'll kind of work through tomorrow to get there. And then heading into the game, we hit a bunch this week on our complimentary ball, the things that we're going to do to really be our best and most aggressive right from the beginning. So those are a couple of topics, and get rocking with you guys.
What was he able to do today?
Yeah, so he was able to get reps today, and that was the plan, to see where he'd ramp up, and so it was nice to see him kind of get the full complement of stuff today.
Terry, at one point you thought he was going to practice more this week, and then you did was it a workout with him? What happened there? What aren't you guys seeing with him?
Yeah, and it's frustrating for him because he's working at it hard, and with an injury like this, this is a speed player, and so on movements where you're jogging or not fully there, it's just not ready yet. And that sometimes happens, when you have a soft tissue injury and you're wanting it to get there, but you have to push it at the top speeds. And so sometimes, John, that's an acceleration. Sometimes it's decel, how hard you have to plant and turn. So, like I said, he's working at hard. He's frustrated, but we're closer. And as we've been going week to week, it can be difficult on a injury that you have to test and push at high speed. And you need volume at it, you need reps at it, and it's good to see him running routes and doing that. But once we kind of got to that space, we're just not all the way there yet.
Just to clarify, everybody but Terry's full go or not decided yet?
Terry's the one I'm ruling out.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Sam Cosme.
We'll get there.
Do you expect him to play?
He had a really good week. So both him and Jonathan Jones, I thought, really nailed the week, the preparation. So we're going to meet together tonight. But he threw a great week, so I'm pumped.
I think I'm good.
You good? Okay.
No extras this week. All right.
Dan, is it fair to say that Terry's injury has lingered much longer than you all thought it would?
Yeah, and I think like the easy question was like, why not IR? Like, well, two ways. Like, you don't want to go there if he's earlier, and then like all of a sudden you're like, after 2 or 3, you're like, man, that's there. So it's like that fine balance when you're right in the space. And so I think that's what they're not just as easy as, hey, this is no matter what, 2 weeks or 4 weeks or that. When it's really a longer one, that makes those decisions easier. But for a player with his speed, that's the part. And he hadn't been injured a lot, thank goodness. And so, learning how to go where it is, what it feels like, but for a speed, like, it's just different. It's not playing guard or defensive tackle where those are things that you can work yourself through. But, man, at receiver and corner and spots like that, that's a lot harder. And I'm glad to see the routes and the speed, but we also want them as long as we can too, DA. So as frustrating as it's for him, we're just not there yet. But we're pushing, and I'm hopeful that it's sooner than later.
Hey, Coach. You talk about the identity of the team through 6 games. What would you say the identity of the team is right now? Yeah,
it's almost like an incomplete grade in a way, Donna. And the reason I say that on what I had told the team on Monday is like a complimentary ball. When we see it, we know what it looks like. Too many times where we haven't, it's been up and down. And you can win a game, where you're off here and there. but to be consistent with it, it has to be all the time. And I think that's where we've been, like the inconsistent part of identity. Sometimes, man, that's it. I'm pointing it out. And so that's what I'm working hard to make sure we get to that spot where it's all the way through. And once we hit into that space, then I want to see sustaining it. And so I've seen it, then this, seen it, and this. And so that's my goal. So it's incomplete right now because as 6 games in, we've had some times where, man, that's exactly what we want. And then there's some others that doesn't look like it. And so I just try to point it out and punch our way through it to make sure that, like, that's what I believe in. You practice, you keep digging at it, and you finding it. Along the way, there's people that are starting to make their marks, which I like too, Donna, because they're demonstrating more times, more spots to go do it, and that only adds to it. But yeah, we've got to find it week after week after week.
Hey, Coach, and so one of my questions was actually around this point of the complementary football, or rather, as you just said, the need to be more consistent in that area. So
Yep.
what have you thought through, I'm assuming so, but in thinking through, what are some of the contributing factors to why you all haven't been able to execute that consistency?
Yeah. If there was one thing, I'd already have my hand on it. Not happy with where our turnover margin is, to be 6 games in and be in the minus. You've heard me talk a number of times, Ken, it takes both sides, to make sure we're getting into the plus. So that one, top of the pile for me, top of the pile. And you got to keep battling to go do that and demonstrate it over and over. Saw us step forward with LA with it. And there's some others where we had chances to get it, but we didn't. But we've got to make sure there's great decisions with it as well. So that's at the top of it. We'll be at our best also in tackling, breaking tackles. So those are 2 margins that I look at a lot, the turnover margin and the tackling margin. I feel like on the field position, I'm pleased, Candy, with the kickoff coverage, the kickoff return teams. I want to see us pedal downhill, meaning I like where we're at and continue to, push that spot. But those are 2 of the ones that are right at the top to me. Then the third one is the explosive play margin, where when you win those in the game, you win your tackling battle, you win the ball battle, and you win the explosive plays. That's where we can hit our spots. So those are 3 spots that I dig in hard with the team each and every week. And when we hit those consistently, the story kind of writes itself. But we have not hit those consistently, and that's what we're aiming to do.
At the Dallas Cowboys, what have you seen so far in what they have shown on the film?
Well, kind of in the different phases on the special team side with Turpin, I'm assuming being back, we know full well what he can do as a returner, both on the punt return and the kick return side. So he's got quickness. He can get out to the edge. Defensively, I've been impressed by their front. They're a hard-charging group, like playing a lot of guys to go. I'm familiar with a lot of them, with Dante and Sam and Osa and some others. So I know the stylistic way that they play. And so our front and theirs, that's what I'm looking at in the matchups. Can our run game and the play passes be like we need it? And then offensively, it feels like Dak is just anticipating really well in terms of throwing and delivering the ball to the right spot. The receivers, the tight end, they're all in there. And then the running back, who I didn't have a chance to work with, coached against him when he was at Denver with Williams. I thought he was early on, that was a tough tackle. And I see that same play style and attitude from him. So that's what I see from the group. And then what's also fun about division games, the players know one another a little better too, although the play calling is different from them this year, from offense and defense and special teams, but there's still a familiarity when you go against the division teams. And so for us to get back in the division, like, man, it's cool.
Dan, just curious, Robbie Chosen, where do you see his progress at this point, and is it possible he gets elevated here in this week or next?
The part for him that I've been impressed by, Ben, is the ability to come and like just learn it this quickly. Many early mornings you see him in, with either Bobby or Dre, or late at night. So you can tell this is a hungry player, to prove it. When he came for the workout, you could see an intensity about him. When I want this shot, I want this moment, I want this chance. And I appreciate competitors like that, because when you have something to prove, like it's right there and you're not on a team and you want it badly. So I felt that, like his hunger index is high. And so I've been pleased with what I've seen from practice, and so he's a guy that's making his move.
And we'll find out about Dornson's situation later, but you've already had a bunch of injuries at that one spot. He's at least somewhat hurt at the moment. I know the next man up mentality is what you guys preach, but at some point, what's the challenge of trying to field this group when you just are continually losing guys over the course of the year?
Yeah, when the adversity comes, there's always a contingency plan of how you want to react and how you want to not really react as much as respond to like what you need to do into that spot. And I've got confidence where he's heading into the week, but there's also a plan, you know, how do you adjust and how do you improvise into those spots. On the other side of those injuries are some good things that come when people are gaining experience and playing. It's difficult to go through, and you know, as guys are starting to make their way back, that's a good thing for us. But as far as it goes, contingency planning, we'll be prepared if that happens.
Got time for a couple more? David.
Solid catch.
Are you?
We do not have to do 3. We can just call it a day and head to Dallas.
I was just going to ask about Treylon Burks, I guess
Yes.
the role you envision for him, and then also specifically with regards to his health. I know that he had a collarbone injury
Yes.
or something. How is he doing?
So we're excited he's here. He's somebody that from Adam's side and the scouting, and we're excited. The coaches were excited. So he had a couple of trips that he's went to visit, and we just wanted to lay out, hey man, this is what it would look like here and how we would feature you to go. So we're very excited. Today was like my first. He came for a workout, but today was my first day spending a lot of time with him, and we're very excited. And so he'll go kind of the same process that Robbie went through a couple weeks ago, just the extra work to get there and learn it. And like that's what it's all about as this chapter, and starting from here, we're really pumped that he's part of it.
You've probably seen Jalen Lane a little bit more than you anticipated in his rookie year, just given the injuries at receiver. What sort of growth have you seen from him, with this opportunity he's had?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And coming in, we knew from the return side, that was clear, from the clips from Middle Tennessee and at Tech, where I think I've seen the most growth from him is in the route running and the techniques there. And so you've seen him apply the actual, whether it be drill work or the coaching techniques into it. We had a play yesterday, even in a 2-minute at the, we were simulating an end of the game play. And so the details that went into that, the route, the catch, getting it clocked to go, he's really thriving in it. And it's nice to see, like, there's a lot, of space for him to grow. But we're really pleased with where he's at.
All right, all good.
You guys good? All right, everybody. See you down there.